bought a thing. What this is behind me is a Shopsmith Mark V. Now, if you don't know what a Shopsmith Mark V is, I don't blame you. It is fairly known in the woodworking industry, but kind of not. What it is an American-made tool company that was started, I believe, in the 1930s, maybe, and became real popular in the 50s. What this is a kind of do-it-all woodworking tool. So it was built on a lathe-based chassis. There are other tool systems out there that are like, hey, multiple tools in one, right? But most of them are built either on a table saw base, like they start with a table saw and then add attachments, or like a router base or something, you know, something along those lines, or sanders or whatever. This can do a ton of stuff, and it's built off kind of a lathe system. So this motor head here in the background is a spinning horizontal plane shaft, essentially, that you can add attachments to. So what most common thing that would be done is a lathe, right? So you would have a lathe chuck on one side and an other end on the other side, and connect them, and you could spin wood and turn wood. But Shopsmith took that and added the ability to make table saws and sanders and grinders and band saws and all kinds of things. So they have done that over the years. Another really cool thing about Shopsmith is they built this in a way that if you bought your Shopsmith in 1953 and your neighbor bought one in 2002, no matter what year they are, they built all the parts, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, to work interchangeable with each other. So if your neighbor brought one in 2002 and had a certain part, and you're like, hey, I don't have that, can I borrow it? You bring it over, you put it on your 1953 Shopsmith, it will work. I purchased this Shopsmith unknowingly in an auction. I bid $18 on this thing and then forgot about it and didn't think I'd win it until I got the email that said, hey, congratulations, you've won this Shopsmith. And I was like, oh, I got it cheap, like really, really cheap. So I went to go pick it up and didn't realize the sheer size of it. So it took up the entire length of the bed of my pickup truck. So I brought it home, and my wife about killed me when she saw this thing. She had an idea of where she was going to put it, but I had other ideas. So I cleared out my table saw. I cleared out my old jointer that I'd never used. I cleared out a bunch of shelving and stuff. Usually I had a table saw behind me there. If you've seen older videos, I've cleaned all that out and I've made room to put this thing against a wall. And I've used the Barina shop light that we did in a previous thing to put a light over it. So I have like a working light. So even cooler. As soon as I found out I want it, I spent hours and hours watching YouTube videos and things on how to use them. And this is known kind of as one of the most dangerous power tools out there. Mainly because everybody freaks out about the table saw. That the table saw blade seems kind of scary, and it's open spinning blade, and there's no safety features or anything on these. So it just, if it eats you, it's going to keep eating. There's a certain level of respect that has to be given when you use this power tool, for sure. The modern ones might have some safety features, but mine, she's an old girl, which I love old tools. So I haven't dated this one yet, but from what I understand, in the 50s, Shopsmith painted all of their Mark V's green, and they only did it for about 10 years or so, maybe a little longer, but they are now known as greenies to the Shopsmith world. Modern day Shopsmiths are painted gray. Mine is green. But if you notice, there's a couple parts on there that are gray, and that's that interchangeability. So as things wear out over the years or you add different parts, they're going to be different colors. Now, you know me, I can't leave anything stock. I'm probably going to paint this thing custom colors eventually, and I've got plans in my head spinning here on how I'm going to make this thing my own. But as of now, I have a greeny, probably, I'm assuming, late 50s Shopsmith Mark V. The reason I'm thinking late 50s is it has the green legs. Most of it is green. There are a couple gray pieces here and there, but most of it is that green color. But the motor head itself, I don't know if that's been replaced or not, or if that came with it, is gold. At the end of the 50s, I believe early 60s, they made a few years of kind of an anniversary gold edition. And I think in that interchangeability, when they were switching that over from green to gold and then eventually gray, there was some mixture there. Stick around with me here. I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to give the quickest history lesson as I can here and how I acquired this thing. But I want to show you all the cool things it can do, because mine can do quite a bit, but not everything. I get the email that I've won, right? And I immediately start watching all these videos, and I go on Shopsmith's website, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna buy this part for it and this part for it, and I'm gonna do all this cool stuff, right? I go pick it up. I get it in my truck. I bring it home, and I immediately sit down here at the table. I pop open my phone, and I go to Shopsmith, and I'm gonna go buy some parts for it, right? And what do I see? We've went out of business. The day I brought the Shopsmith home, Shopsmith went out of business. Luckily for me, the aftermarket, the resale, the eBay industry for Shopsmith is pretty big. There are a lot of people out there that have extra parts and stuff and are willing to sell them and stuff. So my fear is immediately Shopsmith being closed, the resale market is going to boom. Prices are going to skyrocket. So I hit eBay that day and I buy everything I can afford at the time for this thing that I know I wanted of used parts. So I got a bunch of stuff that has been coming in over the past few weeks. My wife is literally going to kill me. She just keeps getting box after box after box showing up on the porch with little tiny parts in it and stuff. But I got a bunch of parts, and this thing now works and functions for the things that I want to do now with it. Let me show you all these things it can do now. So this is how I received the Shopsmith from the auction. It's got a little adjustable like tool rest table, a little end table over here, the actual power head itself. I got a table saw table with it that is kind of adjustable as well. And then way down here is another adjustable table. So everything slides on this tube system here. The power head also slides on this tube system. The bottom tubes are a little rusty, but nothing really attaches to that. I'll eventually sand down and wax them. But what this is it's basically a big drill, right? So you have a speed control dial on here where you can turn up the speed, slow the speed down. You can use this handle to extend the quill out, and this basically spins, right? And then you have a shaft on the end that spins as well that has flat spots on either of it that you can attach attachments to. So this essentially is the working table that I can move here, and I can lower or raise, trying to do this backwards, but I can lower and move this work table to whatever size or I need it to be in relation to the quill. Right off the rip, I bought this arbor. So I can add this arbor onto the end, and now I have a buffing wheel. So now I can replace my buffing wheel that I have on a stand that's taking up space in my garage, right? So this spins, I can control the speed, and I can buff things like, polish metal or anything like that. I actually use this wheel to polish the lathe chisels that I did in a previous video, to polish that chisel up and make it nice and shiny. So I've got that. So I also have this arbor that I bought. So I can have two, I actually have two of these, a more coarse grit and a fine grit grinding wheels. So now I can replace my bench grinder that's on my bench behind me here. I can replace that and use this to use as a bench grinder. They do sell a tool rest for it, but I don't have it yet. But I do have the lathe tool rest, which a lot of people use. So I still have a way to have a tool rest to use as I'm using the grinding wheel. So I bought this guy too. This is just a big metal 12-inch disc that you can attach sticky backed sandpaper to. I got a whole bunch of different grits for this. And basically you turn this into a giant spinning disc sander. So now when you bring your table up to it, you can put a piece of wood on here and bring it up, and it's still safe as it spins around, and you can use this as much disc as you want. You can raise and lower the table, and you can use this as a disc sander to be able to shape things as a shaper, or to refine edges, smooth things down, whatever you want. And it's totally reusable as a disc sander. It's a table saw. I mentioned that previously. The table saw blade's here, and there's an actual, it's hard to show on camera, but there's the actual table saw top that you raise up, you bring down, and you bring over top of this blade, so it's somewhat protected. And now you have a table saw with an actual spinning blade. So I've got one blade here, and I've got a couple other blades that I can attach if I want more coarse or finer cut. Now we start getting cool. Now we have a lathe chuck. So this I can use to actually spin out and grab a hold of wood, and I can turn wood with this. So you're saying, okay, but you have one end, but usually a lathe has another end. Well, so if I remove the table, so then I can come over here, there's a little knob or like a bar over here I can turn, and I can loosen this. I can remove this little end table, and I can add this to the end of it. So now I can take this piece, put it in the end here, and now I have a lathe, right? But okay, you have a spinning thing. What about where are you gonna put your tool on? So in the end here, they have a tool rest that goes into that hole where the table saw goes in, and this is fully adjustable as well with just some 5/32 Allen wrench or Allen bolts. Loosen them up, and you can move this around. You can slide the table around to wherever you need it to be. This is cool. I can also use this tool rest with the grinding wheel like I mentioned before, so I can use it for that. So I have a full working wood lathe. I can turn up speeds, adjust, and this goes pretty good distance of turning things. So if I want to turn a full table leg or something, I could do that on this, no problem. I got this attachment that I can add on. Pop it on the end. This is also for wood turning or lathe turning, but you could use this to screw through, put screws through into a giant chunk of wood. So if I want to turn down like a giant burl into a bowl or something, and I can't use that chuck to grab onto it, I can use this to mount to it. And now I could spin bigger pieces of wood and use this till I get down to one side where I can get it down small enough that I can fit it into the chuck. So this is kind of a starter. But wait, there's more. I can add that on the end of it, and now I have a working horizontal planed drill press, okay? With this lever here, I can turn this into a drill press, put stuff on my saw table, and use that, clamp it down, and use this to bore horizontal holes into pieces of wood. But wait, there's more. I can put this piece here on the end of it. And if I want to turn wood like this, I can do this and shove this into a short, small, square piece of stock that I can't grab with the chuck maybe or something. I can use this. This is made from Shopsmith itself. So it's made to just compress the wood between this and that end and basically just turns it into a spike. But wait, there's more. When I'm in table saw mode, I've got this piece here. Now I have a rip fence for it. This piece as well. So I now have a miter gauge. This is Shopsmith's miter gauge. This is really cool one. It does have the traditional like angles on it. Whoops, sorry, up to 30 degrees that you can turn this to. Oh yeah, the table totally tilts too. So if you want an angled bevel cut, right? Because you're saying, oh, my table saw blade turns. Yeah, so does mine. The whole table tilts. So you have this spinning on a horizontal plane, but you want 45-degree cut, you can turn this to whatever angle you want and get that bevel cut. This is the miter gauge. It's got the adjustment to cut angled cross cuts with, but it also has this really cool trigger that you can turn this and it holds the wood down. So as you squeeze it, it puts pressure down on the wood and you can hold your workpiece down as you push through so you don't have your hands anywhere near the spinning blade. How cool is that? But there's more. So I got this table as well with it.
This one also bevels. I wish I would have learned my lesson from the first time I leaned on it, but this one also turns, right? But this one, it's hard to tell. I'll show you in a sec. This one is not a traditional table saw. This one has a big hole in the center of it that is used to, underneath, you can connect a dust collector hose. Well, why would I want a big hole in this thing, you might be asking? Well, if I lock that and I lock that, so the lever down here, I pull this up, this whole thing tilts upwards. I can take this handle off, turn it over to this side, screw it back down. Oh yeah, I've got a fully working drill press now. No joke, I can use it as a drill press. Got a working table, and I even have an area over here where I could drill through. I don't have to worry about my drill bit hitting the table. It goes through, hook a vacuum hose underneath, and it sucks all the chips. Whoop, learn that. But wait, there's more. So I bought this drum sander attachment that goes on here. It comes with a bunch of different discs of grits of these drums, right? I can bring this down. I can lock the quill here. And now I have a working table with an actual spinning drum disc that I can come in here and shape round things, convex curves, whatever I want. I can come in here and shape with this, all types of different grits. I think that's it, right? Yeah, so that's all I have as of now. So that is my Shopsmith Mark V. I think this thing is so cool, man. I have so many ideas flowing through my head on how to use it. Now, is it rough shape? Yeah, it's you know, it's from the 50s, man. It's been sitting around in someone's garage or barn or something, rolling around just collecting dust for years and oxidizing. All the aluminum I'm gonna have to sand, polish, wax. All the tubes I'm gonna have to wax. I'm gonna paint the legs. Like, I'm gonna make this thing good, but I did make sure it's running. I've used it already a couple times, you know, on different various things, but it does run, it does work. It is so cool. I'm so excited to use this in the future and just keep making it better and better and making it my own tool, just like I do everything else. But it's pretty cool. I bought a bunch of stuff. So there's a couple things that I really want to get for it, but I haven't been able to find because Shopsmith closed down and stuff. So I'm really looking, if you have Shopsmith parts or you have a connection or something. I have a lot of woodworkers on this channel that follow me. So I'm looking for the following parts, but I don't want to spend an arm and a leg. So, you know, there's that. I really want the bandsaw for it, which I know that's going to be pricey, right? They're like $300-400 from what I've seen. And I'm sure as Shopsmith stays closed or no one else purchases it, it has shifted hands a few times over the history. If no one else buys it, that price is just probably going to keep going up as it become more rare. But I'm looking for the bandsaw. I'm also looking for the grinder housing attachment. So like for the actual grinding wheels, they sell like a housing that can go around it and protect, you know, spark, has a spark arrestor on it and an actual tool rest. I think that would be, that's ideally what I want, you know, to be on there. I'm fine using it without it, but it'd be cool if I had that. So those two for sure. They do have a belt sander attachment for it. I don't know that I need it though. Like between the disc sander and the drum sanders, I think that's really all I need. And the belt sander is kind of large. They also have a jointer attachment for this thing, which would be really cool to have. I kind of want the jointer. It mounts on like one side of the table. But that's a cool thing about the bandsaw too and the jointer. They mount on one side, but you can still use the whole rest of it as a normal machine. So that's kind of cool. I didn't show, but all the attachments that I hooked on the one side, you could hook on the other side too. So in the beginning, I don't know if you saw, but like I can have the a sander on one side and a grinding wheel on the other. And a lot of people I've seen that use the lathes will have it in lathe mode and then have the grinding wheel on the other side. And like as their tool gets dull or something, they'll touch it up real quick on that grinding wheel to sharpen it right back up, and then they're right back to spinning, and you don't even have to turn the lathe off. You could just zing it and go back to it. So that's pretty cool. They have a lower shaft as well that's made to power the things like the band saws and stuff like that with like a coupler attachment. So there's so many things you can buy for this that it's unreal. And
I'm really excited to even have the attachments that I have right now for it. You know, like I said, I kind of went a little crazy and just bought everything, but or everything I could afford at the time because I was worried. I even have more stuff I didn't show. Like I bought so many little arbors and connectors and things for saw blades and all kinds of stuff. So those are like the main tools that I bought, you know. We'll see where this goes. Let me know down below. I would really love to hear your comments or your stories of Shopsmith if you have one, or even just let me know if I'm going to cut my finger off. Am I going to be Stubbs, you know, in the future? Let me know. I would really like to hear your opinion on this. Do you want to see, like, I tend to focus a lot on traditional woodworking, and you know, that's mainly the videos I've made. I don't make a lot of power tool videos, so if this isn't your jam, let me know and I'll use it behind the scenes on things and stuff. But if it is, if you want to see me using this Shopsmith and various things in upcoming videos, let me know down below. I would love to hear your comments, your feedback, everything on this. I know this video was kind of long, but I was trying to shove, like, this has literally been 2 months worth of me getting parts and moving things around and figuring out what I want to do into one video. So I'm sorry if this was a little lengthy. If you're still here watching this video, dude, kudos to you. I'm choking to death. Kudos to you. Do all the things. If you've watched this far and you're not subscribed, dude, subscribe down below. Clearly you're enjoying this stuff. You know, you're still listening to me ramble. Subscribe down below. Hit the bell. Hit the little bell icon so that every time I post a video, you're notified of it. YouTube otherwise doesn't really notify you. Maybe sometimes they do, but you're missing out on a bunch of really cool content maybe. And hit the thumbs up. Doesn't cost you nothing, but it really helps out the channel, helps out the video, helps YouTube say, hey, this video is liked by people. Let me give it to more people. And that helps me grow the channel and make a little bit of money off YouTube. So I got to get used to not using my hands. I'm trying to like put them down because I'm losing focus. Wow, are you rambling, Matt? Anyway, do all the things. Let me know all the stuff below, and I will see you on the next one.